Good morning, everyone. It's a historic day, kind of like no other that I think we've seen. Hopefully, for the reasons involved and the people involved, that we learn from this moment on, we have to demand better for who we're electing and who we allow to get this far through these processes. I know a lot of people will say, well, it's fixed, it's out of our control. Still, use your voice, utilize it. If we want to talk about people who have lost their lives serving the country and all these things and the freedoms and rights, then use them. Use them by voting, use them by using your voice. And I know a lot of people don't want to vote. Then write something in, or maybe we need to figure some way to show like there's a mass majority out here who just who don't believe in the process. And that way we can see. But in the meantime, what are we going to do? What's our mindset? How are we planning this? I've heard a lot about, okay, get out and vote. But how are we planning to deal with voting a particular way and it not going our way or going our way? Are we going to be sore losers or sore winners? How is this going to play out? So I'm looking for me to keep perspective. And by perspective, I mean that all things considered, there are many other eras, countries, leaders who have inflicted much worse upon their people. We have modern medicine. We have a lot of things, conveniences that really make our existence so much more bearable than a lot of people. It doesn't mean we live in the greatest country or greatest society. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we have a lot of conveniences that really help like soothe the burn of sometimes our chagrin with our government. But how are we planning financially? How are we planning spiritually, emotionally? Are we taking care of ourselves physically, psychologically? How are we doing this? Are we going to start, hating our neighbors or fighting with our neighbors because we know that they felt a different way? Are we going to take it back to the streets? And I hope we're not seeing more destruction and hurt from people. And this is both sides. It's not just a left thing. And if you believe that, then you're not looking close enough. Just because you haven't seen certain examples of it, there's plenty of it out there. And it's both sides. So what are we doing? How are we planning for this? Again, I've heard the vote, get out and vote, but vote and prepare. Vote and prepare that your vote has been cast, but it may not mean that we got the candidate that we wanted personally. So how are we as a society, and how are you individually planning on this? I know a lot of people say move out of the country. That's not an option for a lot of people. So if you have that sort of financial ability and you can get out of the country, especially in this pandemic, more power to you, but how are we doing this? On YouTube, unfortunately, my comments are disabled due to YouTube protecting children. I don't have any content that doesn't allow children to view it, but they did it anyways. But on Facebook and Instagram, you can certainly comment. I would like to hear, what people's game plans are. So guys, I'm going to cut it short at that. Hopefully everybody is in a good place and we're ready. We're ready to progress as human beings. It's beyond nationalism. It's beyond a particular party affiliation, any of that stuff. Let's progress as human beings. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.